topics from the library. Welcome back to lovely Ros Booker. Ros, what are we talking about this week?
We're talking about social stories this week, and it's probably quite timely because social stories can help us in any situation or help prepare people for any situation.
So what exactly is a social story?
Well, social stories were designed in 1991, my reading tells me, by Carol Gray, and they are trademarked, to guide or educate somebody, not necessarily a child, through generally a social situation, going to the doctor, going to the movies, or learning to do a new skill even. It's written very simply just to teach and to give confidence, I guess, to the person learning or about to embark on something new.
So how does a social story work?
They come in different formats from what I've seen, but a social story will break down a situation into steps, and it will just one sentence or in a very simple sentence per step is the ideal. I have a friend who used to make social stories for her 3 children who are on the spectrum, and she would go to wherever, so say it was they were going to the dentist, she would go and take a photo of the building and maybe try and go inside and take a photo, and then she would break down and write a story for that. So that's a very simplified version, but yeah, just to break down something into manageable steps to talk, usually a child, through the situation that's going to arise.
And we know they're really popular with families and in the library, so what are some of your favourites?
They have been very popular lately, and one of my favourites is How to Stop Your Words from Bumping into Someone Else's. And it's really mainly school skills, but I'll just read you one because this one really appeals to me. It's how soft or loud should your voice be when you are talking? So, when talking to another student in the classroom, you use a quiet whisper. For example, like Diego does when he talks to the human baby in the movie Ice Age. I really like that it gives these examples. When talking to a teacher, you use a medium voice. For example, like the engines do when they talk to the dispatch controller. When talking in the playground, you can use a loud voice. For example, like Donkey does when he wants to share Shrek's swamp. And when talking to the principal, you use a medium voice. For example, like the monsters do when they are talking to Mr. Waternoose in Monsters, Inc.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
and it does. It just breaks it down. So it gives those examples so a kid will understand.
And the range of topics that social stories can cover is, I guess, unlimited.
It is unlimited. It's anything from washing your hands, which is a good thing to learn at the moment, going to the toilet, going to the movies, going shopping, catching a bus. But we also have a book, or we have several books on how to write social stories. So you can individualize them for your situation. They tell you step by step, and I guess it's age or ability appropriate. So yeah, you can, as you say, any situation, anything, you can have a social story on.
Well, I guess there's a lot for us all to think about, and maybe a bit of time to think about and reflect how we can make a social story out of our current situation.
There are some great examples of social stories online as well. For example, if you're in Auckland and you want a story about going back into lockdown, there are New Zealand specific stories on COVID, on going back to school, on all those changes that we may or may not face over the few next weeks. There are some great ones online, and of course you can adapt. I think once you've got a good model for a social story, you've got that to follow, and of course we've got the ones on writing social stories. So we're well covered, and we can help people find good websites as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Ros. And once again, thanks to everybody there at the IHC Library. And keep well, keep safe, and see you next time.
Yes, everybody, keep safe out there. Bye.